All right, so get this. AI just wrote a college paper, booked someone's vacation, and hallucinated a Supreme Court case all before lunch.
Cool. And meanwhile, I asked it how to fix my printer, and it recommended emotional validation.
Honestly, fair advice.
This thing is basically a Wolverine. Unpredictable, overpowered, and half the time doesn't remember what it just did.
But instead of adamantium claws, it's rocking tokenized word prediction, which, if you think about it, is also pretty badass.
I mean, sure, if your definition of badass includes confidently inventing fake quotes from Abraham Lincoln. Welcome to Tech Simply, the channel that explains big tech concepts like you're on your third cup of coffee and just barely holding it together.
And today we're going full adamantium-core. We're diving into how large language models actually work, like what's under the hood of ChatGPT, and why does it sometimes sound like a genius and sometimes like your weird uncle who claims he was once in the Navy.
Yeah, we're going to unpack how these models are trained, how they think, and why do you hallucinate? Like, no, they've just drowned 3 bottles of NyQuil and binge read Reddit for 12 hours.
Yeah, and all of that without melting your brain or forcing you to snag a computer science degree. So, let's roll.
All right, so let's start with the obvious. What even is a large language model? Besides sounding like a reject Marvel villain.
Right? So LLM, not to be confused with MLM. No, one tries to sell you leggings, the other tries to predict what you're about to say.
Both trained to manipulate languages, but only one gives your aunt a side hustle.
I mean, yeah, but seriously, a large language model at its core is just an artificial intelligence trained to predict the next word in your sentence. That's it, really. That's the whole trick.
Which sounds underwhelming, like cool, a psychic Clippy?
Yeah, except Clippy didn't have 70 billion parameters.
Okay, wait. Pause it right there. Read parameters. That's one of those words that make people's brains leak out of their ears.
Fair enough, but think of parameters kind of like knobs on a radio. Every time the model reads something, tweets, Wikipedia banned fan fiction, it tweaks those knobs to kind of fine-tune how it understands the relationships between words.
Yeah, it's like giving your brain a million dials and saying, yeah, just turn these until you stop sounding like a lunatic.
Yeah, and the bigger the model, the more dials it actually has. I mean, GPT-4, that bad boy is working with over 1 trillion connection between tokens.
Tokens. Ah, yes. Another word that sounds like it belongs at Chuck E. Cheese.
Right? But in LLM land, tokens are just little chunks of text. I mean, sometimes whole words, sometimes just parts of one. The model doesn't read like we do. It predicts tokens based on the ones that came before. It doesn't necessarily understand what it's saying. It's just really, really good at mimicking meaning because it's read like a ridiculous amount of human writing.
So basically, it's like giving a parrot a PhD and then letting it binge Reddit for 6 months?
With slightly fewer racial slurs.
Debatable.
Here's the black magic awesome part about it. It's read so much data that it can actually figure out what you mean, even if you're typing like your thumbs are on fire.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can write, can you help me with these emails, with Ken being spelled CN and with being spelled with an F, emails ending in a Z, and it's like, gotcha, you're having Outlook trauma. Let's go ahead and fix that.
Yeah, that's because it doesn't need perfect grammar. It was trained on internet speak. So typos, slang, abbreviations, it's fluid in human messiness.
So it's not smart. It's just really good with patterns. Like, Wolverine sniffing out trouble. Doesn't always know why, but knows where to strike.
There's the metaphor. I mean, Wolverine doesn't overthink. He just reacts fast based on instinct and past trauma. I mean, LLMs basically don't understand meaning the way we do. They just are really good at predicting what should come next based on the patterns they've seen before.
Which is why sometimes it sounds like a Harvard professor.
And sometimes it tells you the moon is made of cheese and legally married to Saturn.
So basically, a large language model is a pattern machine. It eats languages, it learns relationships between words, and it's really good at pretending like it knows what it's talking about.
Yeah, even when it doesn't.
So we've given the internet to a silicon parrot and told it to start talking. Great. But what does all that scale actually get us?
Speed, power, and a model that can generate a wall of fluid text faster than you can say terms and conditions.
Cool. But also terrifying, right? Because it sounds smart until it starts making up facts like it's auditioning for conspiracy TikTok.
Right? And that's called hallucinations. And it's really not a glitch. It's technically a feature. I mean, these models don't check anything. They just predict what's likely to come next.
Like an over-caffeinated improv actor with no script.
Exactly. And it's baked into the architecture. I mean, these models don't know what's true. They know what sounds right based on probability. And really, that's it.
Okay, back up. Because GPT-4 has what, over 1 trillion parameters?
I mean, sort of. The total model actually has about 1.8 trillion parameters, but it only uses a chunk at a time. It's called a mixture of experts model.
I feel an explanation coming on.
So think of it like a panel of experts. For every token it generates, it picks a couple of experts to consult, maybe about 200 billion parameters total and not the full 1.8 trillion.
So really, it's not like a giant brain. It's more like a rotating cast of smart interns.
Right. To keep things fast without frying the GPUs.
Speaking of speed, I mean, these things can spit out tokens like machine gun fire, but not all models are created equal.
Nope. Some are built for speed, some are built for brains. I mean, Claude 3 Haiku is lightning fast. GPT-4, slower, but more capable. It's all a trade-off between speed, cost, and intelligence.
So the smarter it is, the longer you wait.
Pretty much. I mean, it's like fast food versus a 3-course meal. One gives you the answer at a heartbeat. The other takes its time, but still might tell you that the moon is made of cheese.
And it'll sound confident doing it, which is the scary part, right?
Yeah, because confidence is cheap. I mean, these models don't understand, they just mimic. It's all about word association, not world knowledge.
So technically it's not lying, it's just really good at making stuff up.
Exactly. No source checking, no reality map, just raw predictions. That's why hallucinations happen, even when the output feels smart.
And that's the problem. It feels like it's thinking, but really it's just playing the odds.
Exactly. It's fast, fluid, and unpredictable. Like Wolverine on a bad day.
And yeah, we're definitely still writing this metaphor, so buckle up.
I mean, if you're trying to explain a large language model that's sharp, overpowered, and occasionally incoherent, I mean, Wolverine kind of nails it.
All right, so big question time. Like, is this thing actually thinking? I think a lot of people ask this question.
Short answer, no. Long answer, still no. But with nuances.
Because it's short, feels like it's thinking. It writes essays, it solves math problems, it even cranks out the occasional dad joke.
Yeah, but under the hood, it's not reasoning, it's just predicting. It's one giant autocomplete engine guessing what tokens should come next based on everything it's seen before.
So when it says, I understand, it actually doesn't mean that. It's just repeating patterns it's seen following similar questions.
Exactly. There's no self-awareness, there's no beliefs, there's no internal monologue going, wow, I really nailed that answer.
It's like a mirror made of words. It reflects your tone, your phrasing, your intent right back at you, but technically it doesn't get any of it.
And the reason it feels real, well, that's on us. I mean, humans are wired to see intent behind anything that talks like we do. It's called the Eliza effect. We instinctively assign emotion and intelligence to language, even when it's just a program running a script.
Right, like people getting emotionally attached to a chatbot in the 60s because it parroted their own words back at them.
Yeah, now imagine that and extrapolate it to 30 trillion tokens wrapped in flawless grammar.
Yeah, that's why it feels like a mind, because it mimics thought so well that we project intelligence onto it, even when there is none.
Yeah, but don't confuse mimicking to understanding. It's connecting words to other words, not to concepts or even real world experience.
So when it says that the capital of France is Paris, it really doesn't know what France is or what a capital is. It's just writing a statistical wave.
And that's the paradox. I mean, it can write something that sounds insightful without even knowing what insight is.
Which is impressive, but also a reason you can't trust it blindly.
Yeah, because it's not thinking, it's performing, and we're the audience it's trying to impress.
So, we've built a language predicting juggernaut with memory issues and a flair for the fiction. Now what?
Just a whole bunch more models. Bigger ones, smarter ones, faster ones, some that run right on your phone, some that can see, hear, and even talk to you in real time.
Oh, good. I can't wait for my toaster to shame me in 3 different languages.
That day might not be as far off as you think. I mean, the newer wave of models like 4.0 or Gemini can process text, images, video, audio, all at once. We're talking full-on multimodal AI.
So now it can see what I'm pointing at, hear me describe it, and still hallucinate something completely wrong.
Absolutely. I mean, progress, right? But seriously, it isn't full-blown robot consciousness. Not even close. What we're getting here are just better tools. Stuff that can help us write, brainstorm, translate, automate.
And also lie to you confidently in high definition.
Yeah, which is why the future isn't about what these tools can do and more about how we actually use them.
Yeah, because right now these tools are being plugged into everything. Email, code editors, PowerPoint, CRMs. I mean, your next job interview might be partially screened by an LLM.
Yeah, some of them are going to live on the cloud, and some of them are going to live right on your device. The rise of smaller local models mean you could possibly be running a chatbot on your device without ever touching the internet.
Which is cool for privacy, but also terrifying if your model is jailbroken and tries to get you to invest in some fake crypto.
Exactly. I mean, this is the definition of the split. These tools are dual purpose. They can supercharge your productivity or amplify scams, disinformation, phishing attacks, deepfakes. I mean, you name it.
Yeah, we're past the point of asking if AI is going to be everywhere because it already is.
The real question becomes, do we treat this like a magic box, or do we learn how these things actually work and, make sure to keep some damn guardrails up?
Because this tech isn't natural. It reflects us, our brilliance, and unfortunately our bullshit.
And figuring out how to use it responsibly, well, that's on us. These models aren't going to do that for us.
So, to sum it all up, large language models are not little robot brains dreaming of electronic sheep.
They're text machines, productivity engines, giant statistical pirates that speak with alarming fluency, whether, they're right or not.
Yet I don't think, they don't understand, but they do pattern match like champs.
And when you actually know how they work, you stop treating them like oracles and start using them like the powerful but fallible tools that they are.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, large language models are a lot like Wolverine.
Fast, powerful, occasionally feral, no idea why it does what it does, but dangerous in the wrong hands, and kind of brilliant in the right ones.
Yeah, it's not your friend, it's not your therapist, and definitely not your boss. But if you learn its limits,
it might save you hours of grunt work, or accidentally write a screenplay about a time-traveling dolphin president.
Either way, you've been warned.
If you learn something, laugh once, or now see Wolverine every time you use ChatGPT, go ahead and smash that like button.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe for more non-BS tech breakdowns, because somebody's got to explain this stuff in plain English, and it might as well be us.
Drop a comment, ask your weirdest AI question, or just type help in the most misspelled way possible, and we'll probably still understand.
Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Tech Simply, where we speak human, even when the machines don't. Till next time.